Love is supposed to be the safest place. It is supposed to be where you rest your heart, where you are seen, where you are understood. But Carl Jung warned us, not every act of love is real. Some love is a mask. Some love is a trap. And sometimes the people who say they love you the most are the ones who secretly want to see you broken. Think back to the times you trusted someone fully. Maybe it was a relationship, a friendship, or even family. At first, it felt like devotion. They said the right words, made the right promises, played the role perfectly. But over time, the truth leaked through. The smiles carried envy. The hugs hid resentment. The love they gave was never meant to lift you. It was meant to weaken you. Jung explained that people project their shadows onto others. The parts of themselves they hate, the wounds they can't face, the envy they refuse to admit. All of it gets pushed outward. And when they are with you, they project it onto your light. They call it love, but it's really hunger. They cling to you, not because they want you to rise, but because your strength makes them feel small. And rather than face that pain in themselves, they decide to break you instead. Why would someone pretend to love only to betray? Jung would say it's because of insecurity. The insecure don't love you. They attach to you. They see in you what they lack. And at first, they adore it. But soon, what they adored turns into what they despise. Because every success you have, every quality you shine with, reminds them of what they don't have. And instead of growing, they try to drag you down. Think of the partner who flatters you in public, but undermines you in private. They say they are proud, but they make small cuts into your confidence. You're good, but don't get ahead of yourself. Yes, you did well, but let's be real. You're not that special. They lace affection with poison, and over time, that poison seeps in until you don't know if you're loved or if you're slowly being destroyed. Or think of the friend who claps when you win, but in their eyes, you see something else. They tell you they're happy for you, but their silence lasts a little too long. Their jokes cut a little too deep. Their support always comes with a subtle reminder that they hope you trip. Jung said, this is the shadow at work. Their love is not love. It is envy in disguise. This is the most dangerous kind of relationship, because with enemies, you can see the attack. But with false love, the attack is hidden inside the embrace. You lower your guard because you believe the words, I love you. You open your heart, and that is where they strike. They don't need to hit you directly. They just need to plant doubt. They just need to make you question yourself. And when you begin to break, they feel relief. Why relief? Because your strength reminded them of their weakness. Your joy reminded them of their emptiness. Your growth reminded them of their stagnation. So to love you fully would require them to grow with you. And they are too afraid of that. Instead, they play the part of love while secretly waiting for the moment you stumble. And if you don't stumble on your own, they will push you. Jung warned that this isn't just about malicious people. It's about the unconscious. Most people don't even realize they are doing this. They think they love you. They think their affection is real. But deep inside, their shadow is envious, bitter, terrified. That shadow leaks into their actions. And suddenly, what looked like love becomes sabotage. This is why betrayal hurts more than any wound. Because betrayal doesn't come from an enemy. It comes from someone you let close. And Jung said, this is why we must be careful who we give our trust to. Not every love is safe. Some loves are masks that hide shadows waiting to strike. But here's the brutal truth. Sometimes the reason they want you broken is because your light threatens their illusion. They can only feel valuable if you are weak. If you rise, their mask falls. So they need you smaller, quieter, doubting yourself. That way, they don't have to face their own insignificance. To love you while you are strong would destroy their illusion. To love you broken makes them feel whole. Have you ever noticed how some people only come close when you are struggling? They shower you with comfort when you're at your lowest. But when you start to heal, they disappear? Jung would say, that's not love, it's control. They don't want you healed. They want you dependent. They don't want you free. They want you broken, so you keep needing them. This is why you must question not just the words of love, but the energy behind them. Do they celebrate your strength, or only your weakness? Do they help you grow, or do they secretly sabotage you? Do they admire you, or do they envy you? These are the questions Jung would want you to ask. Because love that hides envy will always end in betrayal. The cruelest part is that most people realize too late. You give everything, your trust, your time, your soul. And only when you are broken do you see the truth. They were never lifting you. They were feeding on you. Their love was a disguise, and your suffering was their secret satisfaction. But Jung did not leave us hopeless. He taught that when you recognize this pattern, you take back your power. Because false love thrives in blindness. Once you see it for what it is, you stop mistaking betrayal for affection. You stop thinking you did something wrong. You realize their love was never about you. It was about their shadow. And when you see that, you can finally walk away. So remember this. Not everyone who says, "I love you," means it. Some say it because they want you near, some because they need your light, and some because your strength terrifies them. They pretend to love you, but what they really want is for you to be broken, because a broken version of you is easier for them to bear. And Jung's warning echoes. Love that weakens you is not love. It is shadow in disguise. The most painful betrayals are never random. Jung explained that the ones who pretend to love you but secretly want you broken. Often follow very clear psychological patterns. They may come as lovers, friends, or even family. On the surface, they wear affection like a mask, but underneath, their motives are darker, tied to envy, insecurity, and the shadow. Let's begin with relationships. Romantic love is the easiest place for this deception to hide, because we are taught to believe that passion equals care, that attention equals love. But Jung would say, not every embrace is genuine. Some people get close to you not to give, but to take. They feed on your energy, your devotion, your willingness to carry them. At first, it feels like love because they flatter you. They cling to you. They make you feel chosen. But then the pattern emerges. Their love has conditions. They love you when you are soft, when you are dependent, when you doubt yourself. But when you grow confident, when you set boundaries, when you shine, they withdraw. They do not want your strength. They want your weakness. This is why so many toxic relationships end in confusion. The victim wonders, how could someone who said they loved me hurt me like this? But Jung would remind you, what they loved was not you. It was the version of you that kept their shadow comfortable. The moment you stopped serving that illusion, their mask slipped. Now look at friendships. A true friend celebrates your victories, even when they're struggling. But a false friend pretends to celebrate while secretly envying you. They show up when you're down because your weakness reassures them. But when you rise, when life finally rewards you, they vanish. Or worse, they subtly sabotage you. They might dismiss your achievement. Oh, it's not that big of a deal. They might joke in ways that sting. Careful, don't get too full of yourself. They pretend it's love, but it's really resentment wrapped in politeness. And the truth is, their envy makes them hope you fall, because your success magnifies their failure. Jung saw this envy as a projection of the shadow. Instead of facing their own inadequacy, they project it onto you. They cannot stand your light, so they try to dim it. They may not admit this to themselves, but their actions betray them. Family is even trickier. Parents, siblings, relatives, these are the people you're taught to trust unconditionally. Yet sometimes, even here, love can hide envy. A parent may appear supportive, but secretly clip your wings, fearing you'll outgrow them. A sibling may mask rivalry with jokes and playful criticism, but beneath it is the desire to see you stumble. Jung explained that this is often unconscious. They don't always know they're doing it. But unconscious or not, the effect is the same. They keep you small, so they don't feel small. Have you noticed how some family members only truly embrace you when you're struggling? They rush in to comfort you. They make themselves indispensable when you're weak. But as soon as you succeed, they pull away, criticize, or create distance. Why? Because your success threatens their narrative. When you're broken, they feel strong. When you're whole, they feel invisible. Jung's insight here is brutal. Much of what we call love is actually projection. People project their insecurities, their unacknowledged envy, their own shadow into their closest relationships. And so they act loving, while unconsciously wishing you would fail, because your failure confirms their worldview. Your strength forces them to face what they refuse to admit, and they would rather see you broken than face themselves. Now let's go deeper into motive. Why do people pretend to love you while secretly wanting to see you broken? Jung would say it begins with fear. They fear being left behind. They fear being exposed as small. They fear that your strength will reveal their weakness. And so they cling to you, but not to lift you. They cling to you to control you. They need to feel bigger than you. And the only way to do that is to keep you broken. Think of it this way. In every toxic connection, there is an unspoken contract. They say, "I will love you, but only if you stay beneath me. Only if you don't outgrow me. Only if you let me feel superior." And the moment you break that contract, when you heal, when you grow, when you refuse to be controlled, they turn against you. The mask of love falls away, and their true desire is revealed. This is why betrayal cuts so deeply. It's not just the loss of love. It's the realization that what you thought was love was never real to begin with. And Jung's point is that this false love thrives on your blindness. As long as you can't see their shadow, they can hide behind the word love. But the moment you see clearly, their disguise crumbles. Let's return to Jung's concept of the shadow. The shadow is the part of the psyche that holds everything a person refuses to acknowledge: envy, insecurity, rage, desire for control. When someone hasn't faced their own shadow, they project it outward. And if they are close to you, you become the canvas for their projection. They will unconsciously want you broken because your strength makes their shadow unbearable. And here's the paradox. Sometimes they don't even know they want you broken. They may sincerely believe they love you. They may convince themselves that their criticism is for your own good, that their undermining is just honesty, that their control is just care. But beneath those justifications, the unconscious truth remains. Your power threatens them, so they need your weakness to feel safe. This is why Jung insisted that real love is rare. Because real love requires someone to face their own shadow. It requires them to celebrate your growth, even when it hurts their ego. It requires them to love you strong, not broken. And most people simply can't do that. Their unconscious won't let them. So how do you recognize the difference between true love and false love? Watch the patterns. True love lifts without fear. It does not shrink when you shine. It does not tighten when you grow. False love, on the other hand, needs you small. It thrives when you doubt yourself. It smiles when you stumble. It pretends to be support, but secretly feeds on your pain. Jung's warning is simple but devastating. Be careful with those who claim love, because love is the perfect disguise for envy. And some people will hold you close not to protect you, but to keep you weak enough that they never have to face themselves. The most dangerous thing about false love is that it looks so convincing. The smiles, the words, the gestures, they can all be performed with perfection. That's why so many people stay in toxic relationships, broken friendships, and suffocating family bonds for years. They don't see the truth until it's too late. And Jung warned us, if you don't learn to see through the mask, you will be broken by it. So how do you see through it? How do you tell when someone's love is genuine and when it's a disguise? Jung's answer begins with patterns. Real love lifts you without fear. It supports your growth, even when it hurts. It celebrates your victories, not just your struggles. False love, on the other hand, has conditions. It thrives when you're weak. It resents you when you're strong. It only feels safe when you are doubting yourself. This is the test Jung would want you to apply. Ask yourself, does this person grow with me, or do they shrink me? Do they make me more of who I am, or less? Do they feel lighter when I'm happy, or heavier? The answers will tell you everything, because no matter how convincing the words, the energy always reveals the truth. But the truth is not easy to face, because once you see through false love, you must make a choice. You can no longer pretend. You can no longer excuse the small cuts, the subtle sabotage, the quiet resentment. You must admit that the person you trusted is not capable of loving you as you are, and that realization breaks something inside you. It breaks the illusion. It breaks the story you told yourself. And sometimes, it even breaks the relationship itself. Jung would say, this breaking is necessary, because to cling to false love is to betray yourself. Every time you let someone weaken you in the name of love, you feed their shadow and starve your soul. And your soul will not forgive you for that. Your soul knows when you are betraying it, even if your mind makes excuses. That's why staying in false love feels like slow death. Because it is. So remember this. Not everyone who says they love you truly does. Some love is a mask. Some love is control. And some love only survives when you are weak. Jung's warning is clear. If their love breaks you, it was never love. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever trusted someone who pretended to love you, but secretly wanted to see you broken? Share your story in the comments. I read every one of them. And if this video gave you clarity, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. And if you'd like to support Psychatic, consider leaving a super thanks to keep these deep explorations alive.